you don't have any experience in this kind of domain. So how will you do this? I was determined. Let me try at least. The COVID thing happened. Our business was completely stopped in the first lockdown. In 2020 August, Warner Bros. Actually approached us and they said that your packaging and design is very good and your product quality is top notch in India. And finally, we are now the official merchandise partner for Warner Bros.
This is the 21st episode of Dream 100 Show with Mr. Kapil Garg. Welcome to the Dream 100 Show, listeners. I am your host, Savita Hosamani. Each week, we interview today's most successful and inspiring business owners with winning teams who share their exciting business stories of growth with their evolving products or services and built brand loyalty. Join us as we bring you everything that goes on in the minds of successful business owners during their brand building process and gain insights to creating successful strategies. In today's episode, we talk to Mr. Kapil Garg, who is the founder of Thela Gaadi. Here, we have a person who was in a regular 9-to-5 job with absolutely no background in business. He jumped to being an entrepreneur and set up a manufacturing unit when he found an opportunity. The prevailing conditions in the market helped him to develop the right business model. He was able to find the right channel partners to make his dream a reality and not just a memory. Let's walk past the memorable journey of creating colorful, quirky products with Thela Gaadi's owner, Kapil Garg. So let's get set to hear it out from him right here, right now. Welcome to Dream 100 Show, Kapil. Super excited to have you here. Let's get started. Since you don't come from a business background, what inspired you to start off with an entrepreneurial venture?
Yeah, so I think when I was working in Pune in a startup, so I used to work as a data analytics person in that company. So I used to analyze the kind of traffic which we used to push for our vendors. We used to work for Walmart and Target. We used to push ads based on the location of the customer. So I thought of how much e-commerce is getting into how much data analytics is getting pushed for the e-commerce thing. So I and my friend at that moment, back in 2011, we thought of why don't we start an e-commerce thing? Just then Flipkart was just started in 2011. It was becoming very famous. They started delivering that famous book, Chetan Bhagat. So it was very, very fascinating that if someone orders something online, and this thing gets delivered to you in a couple of days or so. I was in Pune, so it takes 2 or 3 days max. So I was very excited. What is this? We should try it. So I with my flatmates thought of there has to be something that we can do for our local audience only. So I with my friends at that moment started one venture, Diwali.com. So in 2011, 12, in Diwali season, a lot of people face problem in while gifting. So they have to buy sweets. They want to buy faral in Maharashtra, they say. So we thought of connecting with the vendors and the customers. So we pitched into two local exhibitions, and there we found a very good traction. People were very attracted. They thought of this is a very valid use case. So if I want to order sweets for my guest, so if I order it online and then this get delivered in a couple of days, so I think this is a very valid use case for them. Because in Pune, if you give sweets to 2-3 people in a day, so it takes a whole day for them to get yes. So back in 2012 and 11, this was a very fascinating thing. It was a very different concept. Order kiya and then someone can deliver it on your behalf and you can send a greeting along with it. So people were very fascinated. So at that moment, I and my flatmates were basically delivering it with our job thing. So we used to like bifurcate the deliveries. So my job was in a particular region. So I used to take care of those deliveries. The person was delivering in that region. So at that moment, we thought of like, we should scale this up, but the plan didn't work out very well. My flatmates had their priorities of like, they wanted to continue their job. So I thought of like, more in future, I'll start off something on this entrepreneurial thing, but with a kind of a very good validation. So I think for any business venture to start, the validation is a must. So we validated that idea at that moment. That was a very valid use case at that moment. Now, if I say, so it is not going to work. Like now we have Swiggy, Zomato in place. We can order it online. We can order it for someone else. So that's the thing. But at that moment, it was validated.
Okay, so once you validated the business side, we can say you validated the business side of the business. But coming back to this product of Thela Gaadi, how did you start off with that idea?
Okay, so that was started off when I visited my friend's wedding. And one of my friend who was also in IBM, he thought of like, Kapil, we should start off something apart from this, our daily job. Because if two person who are basically working in a 9 to 5 job, they are basically, they don't like their job. If people ask them, they say, yeah, we should start off something else instead of like, people are doing very good in the e-commerce thing. So he gave me an idea, yeah, Kapil, we should start off something. So I was, there was something in my mind, but I didn't had any like clue what should I start with. So in late 2018, I, with my wife, visited Thailand. So there we visited a market named Chatuchak. So it's a very famous marketplace. So basically you get everything like the funky, the quirky products. So all over from the world, people come from different parts of the world and they visit Chatuchak market for wholesale buying. So there I saw socks. So socks was one of the things which I thought of it. It is a very simple product. It is an essential thing and it can be made as very quirky and funky. And I think the people in India will love to buy this because in India, people basically collect socks, I say. Like they need socks even if they are traveling or if they are like going to office, they need socks. So I thought this is a very good product. So then I thought of like starting it as an Instagram page. So we initially named that Instagram page as Quirky Products or something like that. I don't have the name right now. I used to buy products from China. I started off with the China thing, and because I had inquired in India, but no one was able to like provide those kind of product which I had in my mind. I got a very good connect from China, and she basically supported me on the designs part. So I used to like curate various types of designs. So I started off with the China thing. Then I came to know that South Korea is one of the leader in the socks in the world. So I procured from South Korea as well. In 2019, our Instagram page was getting lots of queries. And then I thought of Kiki, now we should like start scaling this up because in Instagram, you cannot reply to DMs like whole day because you are working in a 9 to 5 job, right? So you need to have a self-service based platform where the user can basically place an order, get notifications. Everything should be automated. So that's the thing I had in my mind. So I then researched on various portals. Being from an IT domain, I knew that website has to be there. I thought of like going for the brand names. What should be the brand name, and how should it be? So I thought of like memories is one of the thing which I think which will bring back your feeling of nostalgia and the feeling of that moment and everything as you grow old. So even if you're like 30 and if you grow to 50, you will always have those memories with you. Mm-hmm. So I thought of like I should start off with something, and Thela Gaadi was one of the thing I thought of. Thela Gaadi brings very colorful and quirky memories into your mind. When you visited, if you had visited any fair, So there used to have a Thela Wala which used to sell colorful, quirky objects. Moreover, they were not socks or something like that, but they were some kind of accessories. It can be bangles, it can be anything. But it was very colorful, and it basically, when this picture comes into your mind on current television also, you basically fascinate कि यार वो था, वो feeling थी, वो fair की. So I thought of Thela Gaadi is the perfect name for this. Then I started off with the website, and we were scaling up gradually, but then this COVID thing happened. So our SCM was completely stopped. And then I thought of, like, as the name is Thela Gaadi, we should promote it and grow it in a homegrown brand. Neither, like, people were, and at that moment, there were some differences between our governments also, like the China and India, that was happening at that moment. There was very problematic situation for all of the vendors which were working with the China at that moment. So I thought of, like, we should start on the POC, the proof of concept of this kind of product in India. So I visited many vendors which are working in India with the finest quality socks, but they were not very keen to try these kind of designs or these kind of on the machines which they had. They were saying कि this is not going to be like sold. ये नहीं चलेगा, ये हम नहीं बनाते. Our designer cannot be making this, and वो design बनाएंगे तो this is not going to be sold. So it is a waste of money and time for us also, they were saying. But one of the vendor I agreed upon, like, he was very keen to learn, and his designer was also very understanding. So I thought of, like, starting off with the POC thing. I sat down with him and I told him that I need this kind of design. We iterated on various samples for our first POC, and finally we were able to, like, create a design which was kind of a product which I thought of.
Let me understand this. You were initially importing it from China, and then you were distributing it in India. And then you came up with the concept saying that, okay, let me start manufacturing it on my own. So you went around and you found vendors, you interacted with vendors basically, and you found one person who was able to give this. So during all this process, when was the time where you left your full-time job and jumped into Thela Gaadi completely?
I left my job in 2020 December. It is like 11 months till now. So I was a bit confused because my parents were also not convinced that he will be able to scale this thing, because the COVID thing happened. Our business was completely, like, stopped in the first lockdown. They were saying ki ye chalega ki nahi chalega, and we don't have any, you don't have any experience in this kind of domain, and neither we have. So if you need some guidance, I won't be able to help you in that part. So how will you do this? I was determined ki I'll let me try at least. Let me see that how does it work and how things are going to work. Then I left my job in, like, 2020 after, like, I was convinced that we have made a product which is kind of a very par quality with the products which other brands are selling in India.
Okay, so after doing the POC, how did you start? You already had your own set of customers, since you had already an Instagram page and a website was done.
Yes.
So you had testers trying the product.
So basically, we started off with the simpler designs first, so as to get the validation from the customer that the quality is as per the customers have there in mind. So if I say that I need this quality, so it is as per a good quality from my side, but customer has a different perspective. They see कि यार design is good or not, durability, उनकी जो भी उनके parameters रहते हैं, they have their different parameters. So we started off in mid 2019 with our simpler designs, and after the COVID was lifted, so then we scaled up and we finally formulated a kind of a tech spec, you can say, that this is the tech spec we have to follow for TG designs, to Thela Gaadi designs. And then we were able to, like, finalize everything on the yarns, the everything, the lycra, the tech spec, and we were able to make a product. Then in 2020 August, Warner Bros. Actually approached us, and they said that your packaging and design is very good and your product quality is like top notch in India. So why don't you bring the official merchandise of Warner Bros. In India with us? So I was very like, what is this happening? So it is a totally different kind of a thing. I didn't had any idea about what is licensing, what is Warner Bros. We see the Warner Bros. In Harry Potter and the Batman and everything, but we don't have any idea like how the thing works. Then in 2018, I discussed with them, then we pitched our business plan, and finally we are now like the official merchandise partner for Warner Bros. So they were quite fascinated about the quality and the product which we had given them at that moment, the samples. So they thought of like signing off the deal with us.
Awesome. This is something amazing which happened, which you never expected. See, once you were developing the product, usually product development has its own life cycle. But I think you guys arrived at your quality product in a very short span of time. How did that happen?
So I think it basically happens when you get a frequent feedback from the customer. It helps you a lot in like finding your product. So I always say that you should validate your product from your customer. So if the customer loves your product, then you are moving in the right direction. So I used to send the first POC samples to my friends, family, relatives. They used to tell me, "Yaar, ye bahut ghatiya quality hai. This is not going to work, and I'm not going to pay like $249 for this pair. At least I get a very good quality from Jockey or any other local brand or any brand for like 100 or 150 a pair. So why should I buy your brand?" So I was like, they have a very valid point. We need to improve on the quality part. One of the things which basically delayed this product development also was that I didn't wanted to use any polyester fabric in a product. I was very keen that we should use environmental friendly yarns in our product. So we always insisted that we should go for the cotton thing, because polyester is pretty easy when we are dealing in the socks thing. But cotton was the major issue in our designs, because our designs are very complex, and the cotton was creating a lot of issue while designing those.
So then, see, there were cheaper alternatives which were available, like the Chinese products, all that. In spite of that, you took a huge risk by starting up a manufacturing unit, say importing it and then putting the designs and then selling it. Maybe that would have been far more easier, but you started from the scratch. You got the yarn, you got the socks done. So wasn't it a huge investment from your side? Did you face any challenges in those areas?
Yes. So I think when you are setting up a new product lineup, so there are challenges on the legal aspects also, and from like there are disturbances from the local vendors also. So if you are setting up a new thing in your neighborhood, the people will come to know that he's also starting this kind of product. So they basically create problems for you. But eventually we create something which is a kind of if I say, we have a different kind of audience, I can say. Like the cheaper alternatives, if the person is buying a cheaper alternative, then that kind of audience is not for me. My audience is basically, which is kind of, they love the quality and they are ready to pay the price for the quality. If they love the quality, I say you have to pay this price and you will love the quality.
So how did you identify your right target segment?
That basically comes in when you like sell different kinds of products. I started off with the China thing. Then we were selling a very cheap socks, like you can say. And then we got a feedback that it is getting like faded away in like a 7-day, that they are getting torn after like 2 days, 3 days. It is very thin. So we were getting very like various feedback on our website and on our Instagram. And we were basically giving them rewards for their feedback. Like you will get a discount if you will review us. So they were very keen कि यार discount भी मिलेगा and we'll get in part we were getting helped by them to improve our product.
So constant touch with the customer and taking the first customer feedback with a very open mind, and then going back, working on the product again, and then coming and testing it again with the customer until they were happy. Was this one of the secrets of your short product development?
Yes, you can say, like, I have like 7 to 8 designs which are lying in my warehouse, which we don't want to sell. I don't want to sell, but my team members say that you should sell, Kapil, because you will make money out of it. But I don't want to sell because I know that the product are of inferior quality of the, like, if I compare it with the current product which is listed on our website. I want to be transparent with my customer. That's it. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm. So what are the values that Thela Gaadi upholds right from the beginning? Quality is one aspect, and what are the other values?
So our tagline is like simplicity, happiness, and nostalgia. So I want my products to be very simple. I want my products to be very useful, because I don't want to be something which is like, if I say, I don't want to like hurt any sentiments. But if I gift you like Kaju ka Katli, so it would be like you will have one and then you will pass it on to someone else, right? So I want to bring out the product which basically resides with you. It lives with you. It brings some happiness with you. And if it can bring nostalgia in your life, so you will cherish it forever. So that's the thing which I have in my mind. So that's the lineup I want to work upon. Like,
wow, amazing. So the emotion which your product carries is one is happiness, and one is the memory. They go back seeing those cartoon characters. So how did adults react to it? Okay, as children, they get fascinated by all these comic characters. But do adults also receive it with the same intensity?
I think there has been a moment in your life at which you must have like had a feeling, or you must have any moment that you loved Mowgli or any other cartoon in your life. So it basically brings in kind of nostalgia to your mind. Here, this is like, it can be anything. It can be Shaktiman, it can be Besan Ke Laddu, it can be anything. But cartoon was one of the things which I thought is kind of like, people knows about it. People basically gets a very good footage of those kind of characters. So if I say like Batman, so Batman is very popular. Their movies are very like, they converging, and they launch movies every like couple of years, right? So they have a very good audience. And even if I say like the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, so people of every age group love them. Even if they don't know about Scooby-Doo, they will love the characters.
Awesome. So like, what other areas that you want to cater to now, since now you have made yourself a prominent brand? Did you see a rise of competition for you, other people trying to venture into your space?
So this happens with every brand in India. I mean to say, like, this is not with the brand, that this happens with the people also. Like, if I'm working very well in my job, so my colleague will also be like, yaar, main bhi acha karta hu. I should be very good. Okay, mera boss is going to give me good representation. So our product feedback and like our product designs brings us totally different from our competitors. So we have our kind of brand tonality. We follow some kind of like design palette, which makes you different from other brands. So they might be like thinking, or they might be doing it, but the kind of representation we give, like the kind of happiness our customer gets when he opens up the box, so it brings out like, this is from Thela Gaadi.
So what is your biggest USP?
I think our biggest USP right now is our product, which stands out from the crowd.
Okay, so the best or the worst feedback actually helps you in coming out with the best product. So what was the worst feedback that you received in this entire process?
So I think worst feedback. So they compare it with like bigger brands. If I say like Adidas or Reebok or any other brand, they compare it with. But basically, when I compare it with any big brands, so they are basically getting it made in like Southeast Asia, I would say. So it can be from China or any other country, but they have like India don't have that kind of infrastructure right now to like cater that kind of a product. But it usually helps us to evolve. So we are trying to build something which is kind of a differentiator with other brands. But we do not say that we have created a product which is nobody can do this. I don't say that. And the kind of tech spec we are selected, like using the cotton and not going with the polyester thing. So it brings out very kind of a limitation or to our product. So if the customer says that this is not going to last for like 6 months or 8 months, so this is going to happen because cotton is, they have a very different kind of a feel form and the structure. And when you compare it with the polyester, so polyester is going to last. And you know that poly lasts forever. So so that's the thing which we get. But we convince our customer that we are a homegrown brand and we believe in creating something which is very sustainable. And so that's why we always insist on like using no polyester, no plastic in our packaging also. Wow. So the good feedback, if you say, so we get lots of good feedback. So we have like average rating of 4.8 on our website. So that's like 100% of our feedbacks are genuine. So I usually believe in like genuine feedback helps customer as well as product owners also to create something which is a differentiator. Our marketing team always say, Ki, Kapil, let's post some reviews from backend. It will help us in like getting a larger audience. So I always insist, nahi, wo nahi kar. We don't want to do that. Ek bar start ho gaya, then it is going to like never ending thing.
Awesome. So in what is your vision for the next 5 years? Like how do you see Thela Gaadi scaling up?
We are trying to bring in more kind of themes to our product. So cartoon is one of the thing. We basically want to bring out Indian artists which have a different kind of art forms in India. So like if I say like Bagru art form, which is very popular in Jaipur, Bagru block print. So we want to bring that kind of traditional art forms to our product. So that will basically connect our traditional art forms to our accessories. And that will bring nostalgia for sure.
Awesome. So if small and medium companies want to connect with you and they say that we want to have our logo or something like that, can you customize your products based on their requirements?
See, we don't customize our designs. Our designs are solely ours. We don't customize them for anyone. But if it is a corporate order, so if they want like a Flintstones thing or any Scooby-Doo character, so we can add a logo of the corporate brand. But we are not going to sell it as ki XYZ socks ka brand. So we don't do that because we are the official licensee of this. We don't want to like divulge into this. But we manufacture socks for other brands also. And basically those are their designs, not ours. We help them to create something which is of like fine quality, but we don't customize our designs. Our designs are ours.
Awesome. So have you thought of exporting your products as well?
Yes, we have been getting lots of queries from US, Ireland, and like countries because lots of Indians are residing there also, and they basically they get a very good feedback for Thela Gaadi from their friends or something. So they always say, "Can you ship this to US? Can you ship this to here?" But then I thought of like we should start scaling this business and get a very good reach in India first. Then we should scale this to like other countries. so that we get a very good validation that this is of something which is like a very good quality and can be exported.
Awesome. So since, like, as you said, you didn't come from the business background, nor did you have any formal business education. So what were the challenges like you had to face when you started your venture? See, it's nice when you're in a job, everything is safe and secured. But once
Right.
you jump into this entrepreneurial venture, and it was not that you had huge support from your family because they had their own doubts regarding whether this will
Yes,
work
yes.
or not.
Yes. So I think the legal aspect is one of the thing, because when you start off with a business, you start off like ki becho, and then you can like give your Paytm number and then you can receive the money. But when you are scaling up, you have to have everything legally placed. I had to like talk to various CA consultants and everyone. So like how the business is made, how to register trademarks, how to like set up a one person company, how to like set up a private limited company. Then we had to solve the logistics part, because we were like shipping it with a local courier service previously. Once we started off with the Thela Gaadi, and we had to like we were basically manually sending SMSs to the customer that we have shipped your order from this docket ID. And at that moment, we didn't had any knowledge that tracking link is this. How do I track this? How can I be a very good brand to enhance the customer experience? Then I worked upon like the customer needs to have a very good experience to like it is just not the product. It is the whole consumer experience which brings out the brand.
Oh, awesome. So, what is your learning in this process, and what would you advise anybody who wants to start their own homegrown brands? Now that we see that a lot of people earlier, like if at all you say 10 or 15 years ago, what we saw was if people said that they were in a nice job, it was looked upon as something very great. But now,
Yes.
more in a class, recently I heard that in a class, when people ask them how many of you want to be entrepreneurs, at least 60% of the hands go up. So what would your advice be to such upcoming entrepreneurs who want to make it?
I would say that identify the use case and create a product and start selling it. Just don't wait for the product to be like refined. Start selling it first. So you will get the feedback from the customer. Bad or good, you will get the feedback. Then you can iterate on the product and create something which is kind of like customer oriented. It will help you, but you should not stop yourself for like ki yaar product jab acha ban jaya, then I should sell. Well, that never happens. It never happens. We are still improving our product. It never happened. So you have to sell your product. Then you will get the feedback, and then you can like scale it up.
So, did you experience any kind of financial challenges? Because manufacturing and starting off has a different kind of investment.
Right. So I took a loan from my father starting this thing, and he was very like he was very showing resistance to this key investment in this kind of a thing will give any return to you or not. So I thought of ki ho jayega. Let me like start off with the first. Then when we were starting getting revenues, then he was very calm and relaxed. Ki now they are pretty settled. Now they are scaling it up, and now parents say, "Yaar, ab kya launch kar rahe ho?" They say, ki apna, what is the new category of product you are adding?
So, is that the best compliment for you?
You can say.
Any unusual or funny incident that you experienced in this process, which you would like to share with the audience?
I would say that we get a lot of queries on Google business page, that I want to buy Thela Gaadi. we get lots of queries. So our customer relationship person, he says, "Yeah, kya reply karoon batao?" Because people are usually like searching it online, ki buy Thela Gaadi. Then our name pops up. Then they say your message and like, I want to buy Thela Gaadi, LED Thela Gaadi. They send lots of.
Nice. And then, like, how did you expand your team? Who were your first people who came and connected with you, who believed in this concept?
Yeah. So basically, the thing is, I am working from Jaipur. See, so when we say ki Thela Gaadi is from Jaipur, so people have a very different kind of mindset ki Jaipur se Thela Gaadi matlab socks and this thing from Jaipur because this is a different kind of thing from Jaipur. If you compare from Jaipur, people say are bagru print ki shirts, chaddar, and those kind of stuffs are like kurtis, and those are sold. From Jaipur, if someone is selling socks, so it is a very different kind of a thing. So two of the freelancers which were working with me from Jaipur itself, so they thought of like I told them about my business idea that I have this in my mind, and I think they would be a very good addition to our team. They can help us in like scaling our brand. And they were very convinced. Then we started off with like those were the two people which we started off. Then my wife is also a product designer, so she always helped me in like designing of the products because I don't have any clue about the designing thing. I have clue only about the business and product. That's my forte.
Okay.
So she was there to help me in designs and everything. And now we are like team of 10 managing this brand, and like couple of freelancers are also working with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was great chatting with you and knowing about Thela Gaadi. So before we leave, who were the people who inspired you to start off on your own?
I say that a few of my flatmates, they were very much in entrepreneurial spirits. They started their ventures and I was working in a 9 to 5 job. So that created a kind of thing in my mind. Why should I not start my own thing? Like they are doing it. So that I think those were the people that helped me like push my limits ki ab job chhod de and start scaling up. And then there comes a time in your like life when you have to decide like मतलब boat में कहाँ जाना है, left or right, because you don't have the time to manage both the things. Absolutely. So I thought of like कि एक बार एक try तो करके देखते हैं. Job is always there. You are not going to forget your IT thing in like couple of years. That will be always in your mind.
Awesome. So I think that was the best decision you made.
I think so. Till now.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be like you'll reach and scale to much higher heights. So we wish you all success
Thank you so
your
much.
forthcoming journey. Thank you so much. It was wonderful chatting with you and knowing you as a person. I thank Kapil Garg from the bottom of my heart for his valuable insights and his time. Here are my few takeaways from this free-flowing conversation. The first one being frequent feedbacks from customers always help in refining a product. Secondly, work on customer needs to enhance consumer experiences. Thirdly, identify use case, create a product, and start selling it. Work on getting feedback from customers, iterate it, and create customer-oriented products. Never lose out on an opportunity to learn from the life lessons of real-time business owners on Dream 100 Show. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Dream 100 Show, and now make a smart decision of taking the next step towards your dreams. We strongly believe that life is just a play. We win some, we lose some, we miss some, and we mess with some. So enjoy your journey and play it to the fullest. Don't forget to subscribe to Dream 100 Show and leave a review on Apple Podcast. Share your biggest takeaways with us and follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. This is Savita signing off and catch you soon in our next episode.